Hello everyone and welcome. Make a cup of your favorite drink and get comfortable because this is a wonderful time for new stories from Yellowcat. Send your own stories in the comments below and maybe they'll be in our new video. To my fellow retail employees, what is the dumbest/strangest thing a customer has asked of you? I work at Walmart stocking shelves in the grocery department. During one busy day, a woman came up to me with a crying kid, probably about 5 years old, and said, exact quote, "My kid is peeing me off. Watch him for me while I go get some things." I told her that it wasn't my job to watch her kid and that I had to go in back and do things and he couldn't come with me anyway. So then she told me she was going to walk away and leave her kid there, and if anything happened to him, it would be my fault. So I told her if she did that, I was going to take her kid to customer service and tell them he was lost and have them page her until she came back. She started to walk away anyway, so I took her kid's hand and started to bring him to customer service, and then all of a sudden she yelled, "Where are you going with my son?" And I froze, but fortunately a bunch of customers had overheard the whole conversation and explained what had happened to my manager, who kicked her out of the store. I have had people do this sort of thing all the time. I work at a job where I go to customers' homes and fix their equipment. I don't know how many times the parent has taken off and left me alone with their child. Why the H they think it is okay to leave their child with a complete stranger, I will never understand. The best was a lady told me as soon as I arrived to her home that she had to leave. I asked if there was anyone 18 or older at the premise that would be present. Her response was no, but my son will be here. He is 8, so it will be okay. I informed her that if she left, I could not stay unless there was an adult present. She threw down her purse, sat down on the couch with a very dramatic "ugh," then said, "Fine, whatever." Satisfied that she understood the company rules, I went on with my work in the basement. I came back upstairs about 30 minutes later to ask her a question, but could not find her. I asked the kid if he knew where his mom was, and he said that she left a while ago because she wanted to go downtown to watch a commercial get filmed. Stunned, I called the sub-cell and asked why she left when I had already explained the company rules to her. Her response was, "I will only be gone for a few hours. It will be okay." I told her that it was not okay and that I was leaving without finishing the work and that I was going to report this back to my supervisor. She said, "But if you leave, who will watch my little derp?" To which I replied, "Probably the police when they show up." I told my supervisor and he noted the account so that no one could go back for a few weeks to finish the work. I used to work at Staples as a PC repair tech. Every once in a while, I'd have to sell a computer/printer/anything else on the sales floor. One day, I had a lady come in and ask me for help with ink for her printer. Being the only sales associate on the floor, I helped out. Here's how the conversation went down. Me: "What kind of printer do you have?" Customer: "Well, it's a printer copier scanner thing. It's gray." Me: "Okay, do you have the model number by chance?" Customer: I think it's a Canon, Espon, or Lexmark." Me: "Well, those are all very different printers. Do you remember the number on the ink cartridge?" Customer: I don't." Me: "Let's see if I can look it up under your Staples rewards." I tried looking it up. She never purchased ink from Staples with her rewards card from what I could tell. Me: "I don't see it." Well, without any information, I don't know what cartridges to help you find. There are literally hundreds of cartridges, and without knowing which one you need, it's impossible to make sure you get the right one. Customer: "Can't you just help me look?" Snappy tone. Me: "Well, I'll try." We then proceed to look at about 30 or so different cartridges. There are other people in the store now, and like I said, I was the only one there. Me: "Ma'am, I'm sorry I can't help you, but if you get either the cartridge number or model number of your printer, I can find it for you." Like that. Customer: "Fine, I didn't want your effing help anyway." Me walking away: "I'm not an effing mind reader, lady." Customer: "What?" Storms out of the store. Then there was this time when one of our regulars came into the store. I can't remember its name, as this was 5 or 6 years ago, but let's call it Sheila. Sheila was approximately 50 and used to be a man. Post-op, big fake boobs, long blonde hair, and 5 o'clock shadow. She comes into the store and asks me for an application for a store credit card. So I hand her one and she starts filling it out. After a few seconds, she stops, looks at me and says, what do I check off, male or female? A very confused 17-year-old Cronin work is silent for a moment. Then I said, well, whatever you have more of? She checked off female. She finished up her application and was instantly approved, which was the one and only time I saw an instant approval in my 5 years at Staples. Then she asked for my help with a desk. I was an electronics associate and furniture wasn't my department, but she was a loony, and if I said I'd get someone else, she would have flipped out. Long story short, she wanted to buy a clearance floor model desk. So I loaded up on a cart and whatnot by myself. That was not an easy feat, and bring it to the front of the store. I forgot exactly what happened at the register, but whatever it was had Sheila screaming at the cashier. I was the second in command in the store at the time, so I helped to calm her down. I wheeled the desk outside for her, and as soon as we get to the parking lot, she stops me. And the next words out of his or her mouth will haunt me forever. I'm sorry about all that. It's that time of the month, and I'm PMSing so bad. God, I don't miss retail. I worked at McDonald's, so not really retail, but some of the dumbest people came to my store. One guy asked me, what's the difference between the 4-piece nugget meal and a 6-piece nugget meal, besides the price, of course? I just looked at him and said, 2 nuggets, and he was actually surprised. I think he was hoping something else would come with the meal, but I don't know why. I had a customer that just couldn't grasp the concept of percent. She wanted to return an item, but because she had used a 20% off coupon, we refunded her the amount she had paid for the item. For 35 minutes, she argued with my manager about the price, and my manager just kept trying to explain that percentage off coupons take a % off of every item, so she only paid so much for it and that we could not refund her more than she had paid. It was just sad to watch. I used to work at a bookstore. You'd be surprised how many people came in and asked us to help them find a book that they knew nothing about. We're pretty good at figuring out what people need, but when they don't know the author, title, or anything about the book, it's pretty much impossible. My favorite ones were people who insisted we should be able to find a book because, I told you, the cover is red. I used to work at a store in a small Midwestern town that sold, among other things, jumbo jelly beans. One day, I received the following phone call. Customer: hi, this is Habner Who's It's F, and I was just in there the other day. I bought a pound of the black licorice jelly beans, and I think there's something wrong with them. Me: why do you think that? Customer: I put it in my mouth and it just sat there. Me: what do you mean, sir? Customer: well, I just put it in my mouth and I had it in my mouth and it just stayed there. It used to be I'd pop one in my mouth and after a few minutes it would go away. Me: do you mean it would disappear? Customer: no, I mean it would just melt away in my spittle. Me: sir, it sounds more like you were eating a hard candy to me. Jelly beans are kind of chewy, and they'd probably take a good long while to dissolve in your mouth. Customer: well, I guess I just don't know what to do. I get a pound of these jelly beans, and I don't know what to do with them. Me: I would suggest chewing them, sir. Customer: oh, okay, I'll try that, thanks. I was working at Hollywood Video for a while. A man walked through the front door about 5 feet from me. He was still in the entryway and stopped. Quite literally, in his full view, there were movies as far as the eye could see. He asked me, where are your movies? I kinda just stared at him blankly for a moment. My brain wouldn't register the question, so I said, Excuse me? The rest of the conversation went something like this. Him. Where are your movies? Me. Everywhere. I can help you find what you need. Him. Just show me where the movies are. Me. What kind? Him. Agitated now. The effing kind you watch. Me, confounded by his stupidity. Sir, I don't know how to help you. He stormed out. He called customer service later. I found out he wanted to know where in the store movies could be found to purchase, not rent. He was apparently just too stupid to articulate this. I work at a new car dealership. Do you guys do layaway? Absolutely, sir. I'll keep the $50,000 Yukon behind the counter for you. Just bring in $5 a week to stay current. I honestly wish I possessed the balls to kick people in the crotch for being dumb. Second story, not really retail, but many years ago, I worked front desk for a hotel. The phone system had an alarm that would alert you anytime a room dialed 911. Late one night, the alarm rang and I immediately called the room to see what the issue was. Conversation went like this. Me. This is the front desk. Our system indicates you dialed 911. Do you need assistance? Man on the other end. I'm 9 months pregnant and my water just broke. Me, assuming I heard him wrong. Your wife is going into labor? Man on the other end. No, you a-hole! I don't have a wife. I'm pregnant. Call the effing ambulance and get them here quick. I called the ambulance to fill them in on the new development. The man was given assistance to the hospital that night for evaluation. I used to work as a photographer in a studio next to an optician's office. I once managed to have a long conversation with an older man looking for glasses without either of us realizing he was in the wrong place. Him. Hi, I'm Mr. Fake Namington, here for my appointment. Me. That's odd. I don't see you on our schedule. I have time for a walk-in though, just fill in this paperwork. We have a little chat about possible clerical issues that could lead to a missing appointment as he's filling in his paper. I chalk it up to human error and tell him we can get started in a few minutes anyway. Him, after a brief silence. So, about how long do these appointments take? Me. Well, generally it takes 1 to 2 hours for the whole process. Really depends on the person. Him. Wow, that's a long time. Me. Well, if it's just you, it shouldn't take so long. The long appointments tend to be families with children. The most time-consuming thing is picking out the ones you like. Him. And after I've chosen, do you make them here? Where can I pick them up? Me. We send out your order to our lab and it comes back here in a week or two. Him, looking around. Do you have frames I can look at? Me. Not really. We've got some pre-framed products, but generally customers buy their own frames from somewhere else. Him. That's ridiculous. How could you not sell frames here? Me. Well, there are some in adjacent department store if you don't have any around the house. Frames are really not so hard to come by. I mean, you can even get them at nearby pharmacy. Him. But you'd at least set up the frames for me, right? Me. Sorry, no, but for most frames it's pretty straightforward. Usually it's just a couple simple latches in the back. I can't imagine I'd be better at it than you or anyone else for that matter. Him. I don't even get to try anything on today? How will I know how it looks? How do you get the size right for the frames if I don't have them? Me. I'm sorry, sir, I really don't follow. Him practically yelling. So you just want me to buy glasses I've never seen for frames I don't have, and I have to frame them myself? At this point, it dawns on me. I explain that I'm a photographer, point to the photos hanging up around the studio. I tell him that optical is next door. He looks sheepish and I walk out with him to make sure he gets to the right place. This entire conversation occurred while I was under a sign that said Portrait Studio in a room filled with photos of families. I guess the poor guy really needed those glasses. Thank you for watching. Guys, thank you for all the support and the likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. See you next time.